right, everybody, this is David Pepper, and you are the
president of the Missouri Association of Professional Farriers.
Missouri Association of the Professional Farriers, and you got a Facebook group?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yep.
like that? All right, so that's the organization that's sponsoring this competition we're at here today to cheer on Reuben. And yeah, you know Reuben, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's done a pretty amazing job for us. I really like him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's
good work.
I wanted just to interview you real quick, or let you shout out what the association is, but mainly it's why I wanted to come too is to point out this trade. I don't know if you see it do you see it as a dying trade, or is it still pretty strong?
Oh, there's a lot of farriers. There's tens of thousands of certified farriers in the United States, and there's lots of guys that do their own horses, or maybe do it on the weekends or after their day job. But I mean, people think it's a dying trade. I hear that all the time until you're in the industry.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they're everywhere.
It is a trade that if you know how to do it, you will always have work.
Yeah, and guys that don't know how to do it will always have work.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can once you can trim a foot, nail a shoe on, and the horse isn't lame, you can go anywhere in the world and make a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out, to the younger generation, is if you would go to school and invest in this knowledge, and I really do stress, I don't know how you feel about just learning it on your own compared to being classically trained.
It's hard, really hard.
Being classically trained really helps. And how long does that take approximately?
They have horseshoeing schools anywhere between 2 weeks and a year. And the best thing to do is go to shoeing school, get just the basics, and then go get in the truck with certified farriers through the American Farrier Association and work with them every day.
How is this judged today?
So this is day 2 of the contest. Day 3 was to accumulate the points to determine who's in the live shoeing. So today we have a couple different classes in the morning, and then afternoon is going to be the live shoeing for the high point champion in each division in this contest.
Okay.
So our first class was a 2-man team, had to build a punch and a pritchel. That's the 2 tools you need to knock a nail hole into a horseshoe. Okay. Our second class was everyone had to build a pair of shoes. Biggest thing is a matched pair. They should look identical to each other. That is extremely hard to take 2 pieces of metal, turn them, punch them, pull clips on them, and at the end have 2 identical pieces. And then our third class, which was really fun, you don't get to do a whole lot of contests, is everyone got to shoe a foot. That's not something that gets done a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding and well worth it. And everything's a time frame. And there you had to shoe a foot with a handmade shoe and build a shoe to be judged on the table, called a specimen. Okay. And each division had to shoe the foot differently with a different shoe, and had to build a different specimen. Everything's on usually an hour or 70-minute time frame. After you get done, if you do get done, your work gets judged from best to not so best, and usually the winner matches our judge's specimen that he built and brought the best.
So can you tell me, how's my buddy Reuben doing so far?
Well, right now Reuben is going into the live shoeing in first place.
Oh, all right, awesome.
In the intermediate. If he wins the high point, he'll get a really sweet buckle, sponsored by Workman Horseshoes, and he'll be in the open at the next contest. And that's where all the big dogs are at. I'm super happy for him. Cool. Hopefully keeps that momentum going and can do a really good job on the foot today.
Sweet, now I'm glad we came.
Yeah, we do have the draft shoes first. It's a 2-man team. We have to build a front and a hind draft shoe. It's a lot of fun because your partner is striking for you, then you get his shoe out and you're striking for him, and someone's swinging a big sledgehammer, and there's a bunch of stuff going on, and it's really fun to watch. And I'm competing against him this morning in it, so hopefully he doesn't do that good.
Well, I hope you get a really good second place. I found my guy here. Reuben is, like we heard from David, he's sitting first in the shoeing, and in the what's it called?
In the intermediate.
In the intermediate and the all-around, right?
Yes.
And what we just found out is his partner, who I'm just meeting for the first time, is sitting second.
In
So
the open.
in the open.
Open division.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Okay.
different divisions.
Yeah.
All right,
so
great.
the division above me. Yeah.
And what was your name?
Eli Kaufman.
Eli, J.R. Rosa.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah. And they're going to be partners in this next class or competition.
There's going to be one class. There's going to be one class which is the two-man eagle eye. I've got a different partner on it. We draw partners on it, so I drew somebody on that. And then draft class.
Then there's a two-man draft, yes.
We're together on that.
Yeah, and that's the one that you were practicing for when I
That's
was.
our big one.
Yeah, that's our big class. Did
I
Reuben
never
show you
thought about
folks
that, but
like
that's
what
a
we
good
start
point.
with? Did Reuben show you what we
Yeah.
start with?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, do you have one?
Basically, it's ½ inch thick, just mild steel, 1.5 inch wide. I'm sorry, 1.25 inch wide. You're right, Reuben. So that's what we start with. And then I wish we had a finished shoe. We might have one over. So this is just practice shoes that I practice here.
Yeah.
Our class here. And
That's
so,
what we start with, and that's what we end with.
yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
We have all the tools to do all that stuff.
And that would be like a size 7 or 8, you
That's
think?
what we put on all of them.
Yep. 7.5 on Oliver. Yeah. Okay, so the first class that we're going to get to see today is starting right now. And here's the gist of this class. Each farrier gets to walk up and look at a shoe that the judge made before the competition started. He has 20 seconds to study that shoe without touching it, just by looking at it, and then go back and replicate it from his mind. And then the judge will see who made the best carbon copy of that shoe. And that's what they'll be judged on. It's called the Eagle Eye competition. All right, so this is the competition that they're doing right now, the class. This is the Hoof. And just like what exactly what are they allowed to do and not do? And
So they have 20 seconds to look at the foot, and they can rough measurement, and now they're gonna have to go back and cut a piece of bar stock to match this foot, and they have 25 minutes to make that shoe, and then whoever's the closest to the perfect fit will win the prize. It's a one shot deal over. So it just helps train your eye when we're making handmaids out in the field, and it increases your speed and your ability under the horses. So that's what we're doing.
In case you're new to the channel or you don't know, Reuben is our Clydesdale Oliver's farrier. We have taken Oliver to Reuben a couple of times now, and we are just really impressed with his work. He has done an excellent job with Oliver, and you can actually go back and watch those videos if you want of Oliver going to the farrier. We'll put links in the description of this video to make it easy for you to find. A huge part of the process was going back and forth, I guess, to the furnace is what you would call it. They would heat it up, bring it back out, shape it some more. What they're doing right here is making the nail hole where the nail would go into the horse's hoof to hold the shoe in place. Besides forming the shoe, they spent a lot of time making those nail holes. This is the last little stretch, and you can really tell Reuben's starting to hurry. Basically what Reuben's doing here is rounding off, forming the ends of the shoe how he wants them.
The eagle eye is very tricky. We had like less than half a minute to look at a foot. 10 seconds. We're not allowed to look at that. 10 seconds. Weren't allowed to touch the foot. Get a picture in our mind. Cut the bar stop we thought we needed. Now we're gonna hope this fits it.
So after the time was up, each farrier brought their shoe to this table, I guess the judge's table, and each judge inspected each shoe. They measured it. They would check to see how well a nail would go in and out of the nail hole. You basically wouldn't want it too tight or too loose. You'd want a perfect fit. I had never thought about a nail hole on a horseshoe before, but that seemed to be a very important aspect of creating the shoe.
Okay, so this was Reuben's shoe, and we can look at the fit. Little wrapped in a little much here on the heel, on both sides. Front fits perfect. Curve of the shoe.
So this next class is a team class, and they are making a front draft horseshoe and a rear draft horseshoe, and it's a partner class again. So one man will be making the front shoe, and the other man will be making the back, and they'll alternate taking turns and helping each other on their shoes. Unfortunately, I was a little late filming, and Reuben had already started, the curve of the horseshoe. But, before that, it was just, flat and straight. So it's kind of cool to see the creation of that horseshoe happening. And I believe, if I remember right, they had an hour in this class to get this done. So basically 30 minutes for each shoe. Reuben was working on the front shoe, I believe, and his partner had the back. You can see right here they're alternating, switching out. His partner's going to work on his shoe now, and Reuben's putting his horseshoe in the furnace. All these guys were working very intensely, fast and very concentrated, but they also, you could tell they were really having fun, and they were just a good group of buddies having a good time. So that was really cool to see. And we would love to have the sound on for you guys right now so you could hear all the unique sounds. The banging and clanging of the farriers is just really awesome to hear. But there was music blaring this whole time, and because of YouTube's rules and regulations with copyright and all of that, with music, it's pretty strict. We just decided to go ahead and mute it, and that's why I'm doing voiceovers. So hope you all don't mind too much, but it's still really neat to see and watch these guys working together. And something that I found very interesting was there was probably around 30, 40-ish competitors at this event. And from what I could tell, the majority was men. I only saw one female, and I don't even think she was a farrier. I think she was there to learn. So I thought that was really interesting. And I'm not sure if it's like that everywhere or it just happened by chance to be like that at this event. I'm sure there's women farriers out there, but from what I saw, it must not be as common as men. But just a little side note, I thought it was interesting. So Reuben and his partner just continued to switch back and forth like this. At first, it seemed like they were kind of both just working on their own shoe, but towards the end, they started helping each other out a little bit more.
countdown, 30 seconds. Seconds. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Class is complete. Hammers down.
Okay, the competition just wrapped up, and how do you guys feel you did?
I think we did pretty good.
We're okay. Probably some of the nicest ones we've made.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is in a go and versus in a practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys didn't look like you were incomplete when you were done. I could see on your face like they were counting down to 5, 4, and you looked at each other and you were just like satisfied.
Yeah.
You shook hands.
The timing was good. Yeah.
Timing was pretty good. I think we were all right.
All right,
We'll see.
show us the specifics of what we're looking at.
So they just want a good clean section, good lines. See how the lines, I'm talking about the width of the section, no big bubbles. They want everything nice and clean. This is a hammer finish class, so you cannot file on it, cannot rasp on it. So you gotta have a lot of hammer control. See that the inside of the section is a little thinner,
Yeah.
to be safer. We talked about our caulks when we shot Oliver, the
Yeah.
inside caulks in a little bit to
Yep.
be safer. So yeah, just a good clean shoe, good shape, good punching. The nail's gotta fit, gotta drop, gotta be in the right part of the section.
Right.
So,
This is the hind foot. That was the
the
front
hind foot.
foot.
Okay.
Pretty much the same foraging exercises on this one, where this is the widest part of the section. You guys saw the section earlier that we started with, so see how it tapered? This is wider than here. This is sweetened up, forged up to inside. This caulk is not as wide as that one because it's on the inside of the horse's foot, so he doesn't step on himself. And this one's gradual, a little bit, but not as dramatic as the what we call the medial inside.
Yeah.
So
Because
this-
there's more structure, foundation on the outside, right? So you
it
want
kind
it
of comes down heavier on the outside.
Heavier.
Maybe.
Sure, maybe a little bit.
yeah.
The main reason is for this having wider is it's not so much this is wider or further out. It is this is further in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
can you
keep
guys
from
can
interfering.
you get a shot of that? See how this line is outside of this section? See how this is barely outside for the inside, so the horse doesn't hurt himself.
Right.
It's a safing
Okay.
exercise.
Now a hard question.
Oh boy.
Is there anything you're not satisfied with?
Oh
There's
yeah,
always
I
things that
can
we
can
can
find a bunch on my shoe that I'm not satisfied with.
All right.
There's always going to be things that we can change. I feel like it was a good run though.
I'm going to be happy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a timed event. When we're at home practicing, we can take 2 hours to make a shoe if we want to. Here, we get 60 minutes. So we have to put it all in there in 60 minutes.
All that being said, there's a lot of handy guys in this class. So,
Yeah, that was cool. It was fun to watch. I'm glad we came.
There's no walking away.
Okay, everybody. Well, the horseshoe competition was very interesting to see, but it kind of had an odd ending. So as you see, there was short events set up throughout both days. It was a 2-day event, and Reuben competed in all of them, and all of them had a possibility of 20 points you could earn, and he was sitting in the leading average for that, right down to the last competition. I've got some horseshoes here. I can even give it a little example of what happened. The judge told him what horseshoe to make, and he went and grabbed some stock, made the horseshoe, and was about to put it on the hoof. And before he was able to nail it on the horse, the judge came and judged the shoe, and then they were going to judge how well the whole package deal was done. But you see this groove right here? The shoe that Reuben made, he put that groove in, but the shoe that the class was for, you were not supposed to have that groove. It was just a misunderstanding. So he made the wrong shoe and got disqualified. So he was going to have to take a 0 out of 20 points. But this was one of the most interesting things about that competition that happened that day, and it was the most impactful to me. But I didn't film it because I thought I was being polite to Reuben at the time. At his lowest point in the competition, where he had lost the competition there by that one little simple mistake, he only had 15 minutes left, and it was a 2-hour class to shoe a horse all the way around and make 4 shoes. But Reuben didn't quit. He grabbed new stock and he forged them and he made new shoes, and he worked as fast and as fervently as he could work for that 15 minutes. And people were coming up and telling him, like, Reuben, there's no chance that you can finish this competition. But he said, oh well, that's okay, I came to compete, So I'm going to compete until the bell rings. And that's what he did. He worked just as hard as he could until the bell rang, and he received his 0 points for that. But he didn't just give up and throw his tools down and walk away when he knew he was beat. He competed with a good attitude right till the last second. And it was pretty inspiring to me because everybody was heartbroken for him. The judges, the people putting on the event, the other competitors even, because he had it won hands down. And they were trying to fudge the rules for him and say, well, that groove doesn't really matter, but and he said, he stopped him right there. He said, no. He said, if you're gonna make exceptions for me, you'll have to make them for everybody. He goes, it's the wrong shoe, give it 0 points, and I'll keep working. And he had just a great attitude about it, and how hard he worked till the last minute, knowing he was fighting a futile fight, was very inspiring. It was like personal accountability that we miss in our society so much. And I've thought about it a lot, and a couple of the setbacks I've had in life since then, it's helped me respond to them more positively. Like when my mom's dog killed a sheep the other day. You know, it was a setback, but she was upset and afraid I was going to be mad, and you know, it's just one of those things. You gotta be able to take failure in this life without letting it shake you. And he didn't even take it as a failure. I asked him afterwards, he goes, I said, well, Reuben, I'm sorry you didn't win. He said, it's okay, it gives me more time to get better. And that's coming from a guy who was sitting in first place. More time to get better. And it was just a great life lesson that I saw. I've hoped to instill that kind of lesson in my kids, and I did get to see it with Mary Ellen the other day. She's a senior in high school, playing her very last high school basketball game, and she was 23 points away, or 24 points away from her 1,000 points in her career, and she fought, you know, to the very last second, which was basically a futile fight to make 24 points against the team we had to play in districts. It was one of the better teams. Matter of fact, it is the team that won districts. And we knew we couldn't probably win that game, but somehow in the fourth quarter, where everybody else was wearing down and tiring out, she fought and made, I think, maybe 8 or 12 points in the fourth quarter. I think probably 12, and with 23 seconds left in the game, she made her 1,000th career. 51. Second free throw. Those are some kind of inspiring things. I wish I had filmed that about Reuben doing that, but in my defeated mindset at the time, I was thinking, oh, this is a disaster. I'm not going to film it to kind of give Reuben his moment of, you know, angst and privacy, respect his privacy, when actually it was the biggest victory of the show, and I wish I had shown it. But I just wanted to share it with you.
Reuben's pretty cool.
Lastly, I wanted to show these. These were Oliver's first set of horseshoes that Reuben, you know, put the toe clip on, and from the video,
you put them on
from the very first horseshoeing video that Oliver had down there at Reubens. And they're pretty awesome because they're, you know, 7.5, 8 inches across, and they're big. And he's actually gone up one size since this. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my wire wheel to them and clean them up, polish them up, get them shiny again, and I'm going to give them away to Patreon members on our Patreon page. So if you want to go to that Patreon page to help support the farm, you can sign up there. I think it's only $5 a month on the low end.
We had planned on doing this on March 4th for Oliver's 1-year anniversary that he's been with us, but we've just been very busy with a house remodel, and we're a little bit behind, so we've decided to do it for his birthday, which is April 25th. So if you're interested in our Patreon page, you want to check it out, and you want to win one of Oliver's shoes, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video for you.
Thanks for watching, and you know, stay tuned. We got some whole bunch of stuff coming up with the parade and getting ready for the parade, so I've just been really busy lately, so stick with me, and good content's coming when I get some of these chores done.